So today I just wanted to talk you through my kind of weekly food shop, just to kind of give people a bit of an idea of what sort of things to maybe include. It's the basis of a really healthy, natural, whole foods diet. So hopefully you can kind of take on board some of the things that maybe I choose on my weekly shop and incorporate them into what sort of things you like to eat. Obviously, you know, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Everyone kind of likes different things, so you know, obviously you have to kind of take those things on board. There's not everything here, and things do kind of change depending on what we're cooking that week, but I always try and make sure we get some greens. So I've got organic kale, rocket and spinach here. I've got some parsley here, got sweet potato, I've got some mushrooms here. You can find like wild mushrooms in the supermarkets as well. We always use them in like an Asian dish or something, but they're just quite a good staple to have. And then obviously red onion, white onions, we always have like 2 or 3 of each every week. If I'm doing an Asian dish, which I am this week, I always have like pak choy, so I've got that here. And then some cauliflower, which again, I've got another recipe using that. Certain things I don't buy every week, so the cauliflower I'd probably buy that every other week. Broccoli, I do tend to buy it every week. I really like to buy the frozen broccoli, and also going back to the spinach, I buy a bag of frozen spinach as well. That's just easy to just grab like a chunk of it and throw it in a smoothie, for example. Then I've got some celery and cucumber. Like obviously it's summer, so we're having more salads at the moment. That's kind of why I've got those, and also for like doing some juices as well if I have the time. And aubergine here, I do tend to kind of buy one a week. I also bought some beetroot. In terms of fruit, I do really like having berries in the morning. So I've got like blueberries and strawberries here. We have bananas, peel them, chop them up and then put them in the freezer. So again, they're always to hand. And with the berries as well, I do buy frozen berries as well as the fresh. So they're really useful frozen for smoothies. Usually have some apples. Now it's important to mention that there's quite an array of colour. There's different benefits from eating the different coloured vegetables. So greens have got a lot of B vitamins, peppers, tomatoes, that kind of things have got vitamin C. Orange sort of veg, so carrots and squash, they are full of vitamin A, which is beta carotene in its food form. So yeah, it's just really important to make sure, you know, you're getting a whole array across the rainbow of different colours as well. So just be mindful of that when you're doing your shop. Try and include as many as possible. And then just moving on to legumes. Now, just for pure convenience, tend to just go for the tins. We've got like lentils here, red kidney beans, cannellini beans, black beans, all the beans, chickpeas and more lentils. Just make sure that when you cook with them, rinse them in some fresh water and just, you know, give them a proper rinse. Basically, they can make you bloat. That just kind of helps reduce that. And then just chopped tomatoes, again, just really for ease. They're great like for sauces and things like that. And then moving on to grains. Now this is probably one that a lot of people get stuck on. Not about not eating these, you can get some really healthy versions. One thing I would do is go for whole grain. I actually prefer the taste of it, so it does depend, you know, what your taste is. Just gives you more sustained energy basically. It's more of a complex carb. Then we always buy some oats, and then just with pasta, I do quite like this one. So we get this spelt. You can get quite a few different types of pasta with spelt, and also buckwheat as well. Then I also quite like these pea like protein ones. So there's actually a few brands that do this, and you can find chickpea, red lentil as well, and it's high in protein. That's actually got 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. And then with the bread, again, I go for like whole grain bread. So I've got millet here, and then we just get like a standard loaf, again whole grain. Then you obviously have your protein source. So we always get some salmon. We'll probably have this at least once a week, but it's a really good source of omega-3, and it's really anti-inflammatory, so it's really, really good for you. I do have some of the white fish, but I'll at least try and get 1 to 2 portions of the oily fish. And then actually I haven't got it out here, but we do buy the tins of like mackerel and sardines. Again, they're so inexpensive, and my advice would be to kind of aim for at least 2 portions of oily fish a week. So it's salmon, mackerel, anchovies, herring and sardines. I'm dairy free, so I kind of go for this almond milk yogurt, and then we always get tofu, a few different brands, but I always just make sure that we go for an organic one. And then obviously some meat as well. Liver basically is one of the highest sources of iron, so if anyone is struggling with iron levels, I would definitely recommend. So that's kind of like your protein, and then moving on to healthy fats. So sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and then we have like raw coconut chips. Throw them on my breakfast. Nuts, I think they're just a really good snack to have, and they don't spike your blood sugar levels, so yeah, really good healthy fat. And then obviously oils, so we use olive oil a lot, coconut milk as well. Like we'll usually get through a tin of coconut milk once a week. This is tahini here, I use that a lot. Nut butter as well, that is pretty much a staple in smoothies, and then we put it in our breakfast as well. I don't find them much more expensive than non-organic, but I would go for organic milk if you can afford it. And then obviously there's like non-dairy milks to go for. I quite like these too, but I also like brand Plenish, literally about 4 ingredients. So do just make sure you're looking at the ingredients, because some of them have got a lot of fillers and additives and thickeners in there, so it is worth paying a little bit more and getting a better brand. Always need a bit of chocolate, a few treats in the week. And then I've just pulled these out because I do a bit of baking, so I kind of use some coconut sugar. I always have raw cacao, but yeah, these are quite good staples to have as well to hand, just so you can do a bit of baking. As you can see from everything I've got here, about half of that is the veg. That should be basically half your plate in an ideal world, and that does include the beans as well. Then sort of a quarter of your plate can be the sort of carbohydrates, and then we've got the protein, so again a quarter of your plate, and then just a little bit of healthy fats, so that's kind of on the end there, but it should just be, you know, a small portion of healthy fat. So thank you, I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions at all about anything that I've shown, or anything that you buy that you just wanted to check what my thoughts were on it, then do just drop me a DM and I'll come back to you. Thank you.